The show's back! The show's back!
I think I love retro games.
This week on the Retrogames show, with CRT televisions set to make a comeback, we check out all the latest models. And with Christmas just around the corner, we test the latest retro gaming slippers.
I think I love retro games.
Hello, yes, it is me, it is Jace at Retrogames. Hello everybody for the patience of waiting for us to get back to a Retro Games show. Yes, it is episode 23 of the Retro Games show. Yes, our extended talk about everything retro with the old gang, with the old Hardcore 44. Yeah, I do think some of the Hardcore 44 have left. They've left the room. I think we've lost some of our old originals. There's Scary Bailey gone. Jabobbly Rob hasn't commented for ages. A lot of the old guys, I think, we mixed up the show. We went, what's in the box? Thanks, Sean. We went, don't blame him. We went, what's in the box? Just talking about the new stuff. And we abandoned the show for a bit. But I always said it would come back, and today it is back. It is the Retro Games show. I've got the sheet! I have the sheet, but I'm not putting it on the screen yet. I'm still going on about my intro. I said it was going to be really crazy. I'm not feeling particularly crazy this week, I'll be honest. It's been quite a sad week at the Retro Games household this week. I'm not going to go into it, but it's been a tough one. So I'm maybe not quite as full as... I'm always full of beans. I am always full of beans. Baked beans, Heinz, don't muck around. No, keep your Iceland-owned beans. They don't taste right. They don't. Grandstand beans, you're going to get a slap. What is he on about? Welcome, and to any of our new followers, because we have picked up a lot of new subscribers in recent weeks. Hello, this is what we used to do. We used to have an extended every Friday, a Retro Games show. Goes over an hour. We talk about all the new stuff that comes in, just like we do on the usual show, on the What's in the Box show. But we also have a chat about people's lives and their gaming, and we have a competition, and it's a lot of fun. But before we get to that, let's talk about the big the thumbnails. Yes, the thumbnails. People are getting across, like, Jace, what the heck are you doing? You're sticking scantily clad ladies on all the thumbnails. Trying to get people to watch the videos, and you're running down retro gaming, full stop. You're killing us, man. You're ruining retro gaming. You need a picture of a Spectrum on every thumbnail. This is ridiculous. But it was an experiment, and okay, I did one maybe 5-6 weeks ago, and it suddenly got over 500 views, which is, for us, was a massive jump, double of what we were getting for previous episodes. And it was just a pair of thighs. And so I ran it again, and we had a young girl holding a box, and yes, suddenly, yes, 700 views. I thought, well, this is crazy. Surely Retro Games aren't this, base. Surely it doesn't just take scantily clad ladies to get you guys involved. So I tried two very beautiful ladies, one either side of the logo. Oh yes, no, not quite as good as the one before, only 600. And I'd already done the thumbnail for the next week's episode, and I thought, well, I got a lot of backlash. Oh, you're putting too many ladies. You just thought, oh, you ruin it. I still got 600 views, got new subscribers, we got new traffic to the site. So I'm in two minds, but I decided we'll let the other one run, because I did have 3 saucy ladies holding boxes to go. So I did the last one, and what did we get? We got 1,000 views, no advertising. It went crazy. We got new subscribers. I think we got like 20 odd new subscribers, all because of, and I'm going to admit this to you, you probably realise, but this is an AI generated girl. She does not exist. She's not my wife. Oh God, yeah. She won't watch this, it'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, I put my wife on Maybe on the next time, make it more real, Jace, more real. Maybe if you could all send me pictures of your wives, and we'll use them for the thumbnails. What do you reckon? Proper retro wives. I'm coming. Sorry, Russ. I'm coming back to an old thing. Yes, readers' wives. Apparently, I'm not allowed to ask for photos of viewers' wives. That is inappropriate, Jace. You're a naughty boy back in your bin. Now, the thing about the thumbnails and the AI is it takes a bit of work. You know, you think, oh, AI, it's so easy, Jace. You're just generating stuff, generate, easy, just put in some text. No, you get a few anomalies. Check this out. Okay, do you remember this girl from our first What's in the Box show? Did you notice her teeth and her crossed eyes? You need a toothbrush. What about this scary lady? Yes, her hand is like something out of Silent Hill, some slab of meat. It's gross. Okay, she looks cute from a distance. Her hand is disconnected from her arm. Just not sexy enough, love. You've got a funny face. Now, you remember this one? This is our big 1,000 views. But what's wrong with her mouth? She's been licking a battery or something. Now, arms just shouldn't work that way. That just doesn't make sense. And it's not the only redhead who's a bit faulty on the arm. Oh, I can hear the bones cracking. Oh, now she's got an extra hand coming out of her thigh. I have no idea why. And her arm is literally in the box. Okay, I know you're cute. And look at this woman's hand. It's like a spider finger. Don't look at her face. Do not look at her face. Oh, crikey. Oh, Quasimodo's back. Oh, I said holding a box, not in the box. Oh, I think you're just being stupid. He's got an extra arm coming out of his shoulder. Crazy. Your legs are facing the wrong way. So as you see, it's not all sexy, is it? Anyway, let's do it. Let's get the sheet up, runners and riders. Here you go. It's this side. It's this side. You think I've forgotten all the catchphrases? No. It's this side. Ting! Yeah. Hello. Yeah, there they are. 19 runners and riders, and they will be in the competition. And they've all got some comments to say. I'm going to read through the comments and I'm going to talk about it, and we'll get involved. You can comment next time, and we can make a conversation out of it. It's a retro gaming conversation. We have this massive thing in common. Our lives are denoted. They are about games, aren't they? Every section of your life was about the time that you were playing a particular game, or that a game had affected your life. You know, they're like landmarks. They're like Stonehenge in your lifespan. We're all the same. Manic Miner, you know, your Jet Set Willy, your Attic Attack, your, you know, Hyper Biker. They're all landmark games in your life cycle, and we like to talk about it. And so we get a bit of conflab. You know, you can write to me about anything, and it will go on a future show. Yes, there will be future shows. The Retrogames show is going to carry on an ad hoc basis, but it'll be back to the short show. What's in the box next week? We've done 10 of them already, I think. 10, 12, 13? Yeah, maybe 12. Number one is Justin. Justin Wormley He's back. He loved last week's Blabby thing. Now, wasn't that brilliant? It was really good, seeing all those amazing Blabby titles. I really do love the cheesiest, tackiest inlays. The more tacky and awful they are, the more they warm the cockles of my heart. I don't know why. I want things to be feeble and useless. I think this is a retro gamer's, I don't know, why do we want things to be pathetic? A sudden penchant for anything that looks lame. Really mad. Anyway, he said, those early years of gaming were just so exciting. Everything was new and they will never be equalled. And I think he is right. The rest of the world are crazy. We got lucky. We were born so that we were ready to appreciate the early 80s to 90s. Check the demographic. Pretty much 90% of all the viewers of this show are the same age as me. And that's because we all share that window from 1978 through to our early 90s, when gaming were our lives. We were the right age. We're just approaching our teens in the 80s, getting through our teens into the late 80s. And we were there to play all the great games. And he's right, it won't be equalled for us. I mean, I can't imagine how sad it would be if your first game ever is, Legacy of Kain on a PS1, it'd be like, that doesn't feel right, but actually even those people are now pretty old. So that makes me feel ancient. Number 2, Retro Tap. I think he's new. This is an interesting story. My earliest arcade memory is Kung Fu Master from the Coin-Op Kung Fu Master. Check it out.
What up?
Now this classic coin-op was at his local sports centre, leisure centre we'd say. As a kid we'd go for karate lessons and the arcade cabinet was right outside the hall that they trained in. It was perfect product placement. It pumped them all up ready for the lesson, so they'd be there early before. Can we get there early, Mum? Can we get there early so they can throw some 10p's into that machine and they would play Kung Fu Master before they did real Kung Fu. And that is pretty awesome. And it made me think, I bet there's, if you go to the RAF for flight training, is there an afterburner? Was there afterburner machines in the foyer? I don't know. Was there arcade machines to get people in the mood to do things? I bet there was. I bet there's more. I bet you go, driving school and you're having to go on check a flag. I have no idea. But I like the idea. So if you can think of any other arcade machines in the right place at the right time, that's an interesting subject. Thank you, Retro Tap. Number 3, Newborn Log. Now, Newborn Log, I think that's a reference to poo. Newborn Log, he says, we got him. Now, I don't understand that. I'm really sorry. You were splitting your sides when you wrote that message. I have no idea what you're talking about. We got him. Thanks for that. Let us know what you thought. Number 4, Tonic Knight. People choose these names. People choose them. There's 100,000 words in the English language. Tonic Knight. And this is another strange one. I love the entry. ? I love the entry. I think that is it's a nice guy, actually. I think he means, I like the intro. Do you think he likes the intro? Or maybe he just liked the thumbnail? I don't know, but maybe he liked the jazzy, what's in the box music. I hope so. I hope you guys all have got used to it now. I know a lot of you still miss the original Retrogames theme.
I think I love retro games.
Yes, it'll come back. The funny thing is, if you're not a subscriber, when you go onto our channel page, that little video comes up with that theme. So I don't subscribe to my own page, so I hear it all the time, every time I go onto YouTube. Isn't that weird? Number 5. I didn't mention how many there are. There's 19 today. 19. Quite a healthy number, not too bad. 19. I did ask for lots of comments. I didn't get a massive. I think these new brand of quick viewers that the thumbnails have brought, not necessarily engaged enough to write comments or talk about their gaming history, but I'm sure in time the Hardcore 44 will be back. Number 5, Good Looking Out Homie. Again, 100,000 words. The thumbnail, this is a thumbnail reference, there's a bit of that. The thumbnail gave him more nostalgia for being young than the games did. Well, if you had ladies like that in your life when you were young, well done to you. Number 6, it's our old mate Tetley. Yes, Tetley, he's in the Hardcore 44. We love Lee. He says he likes to imagine Marvin coming back with a new colour, like Gandalf did after he died fighting the Balrog and returned as Gandalf the White. And it's a long time since I've seen Lord of the Rings, but I vaguely remember that. Maybe it didn't strike quite the chord it did with you, but yeah, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? Poor Marvin. Rest in peas. Frozen peas. Carry on. Now, his first, if you're regular, you'll know Tetley always goes on about the TI-99. We have a lot of talk about TI-99, how fabulous it was and how sad it is that it never really kicked off like it should have. But apart from that, He says before the TI-9, his first gaming experience at home was the Grandstand 2000. Check it out. It's a TV game. It was lent to him by his auntie who bought it in Germany. You know, typical, like, you know, the Grundig version. Grandstand in Germany. I don't think the Grandstand brand was in Germany. But anyway, maybe it was. Maybe it was an import. I don't know. Anyway, she lent it to the family, but they loved it so much, couldn't stop playing it, that she said they could keep it. I'll keep it. Happy Christmas. Anyway, brilliant. Moving on from that, he says his first arcade machine that he loved, his first love in the arcades. You remember the arcades? They were a big thing, young people. They were massive to us. That's where we could only see the greatest video games of all time. His first arcade machine was Defender. Now, classic. You don't beat Defender, do you? I mean, Defender, to be your first arcade machine. Oh my God. He said it was the sound effects that made it thrilling. Let's listen. It's pretty thrilling. He's right. Eugene Jarvis made Defender, if you didn't know. One of the all-time great arcade machines. It was made by Williams. Williams, who were famous for making pinball machines. They were massive in the world of pinball. They ventured out into arcade machines. We got some great stuff, you know, Robotrons on Williams. But then they just disintegrated. And it's sad, isn't it? Well, that would have been a great company to carry on. It would be up there with your Namco and your Tato and your... Not potatoes. Stop it, Jace. 7, Mike King. It's our old mate Mike King. He says, Starman Jones. Now that's going back to the blabby stuff. He said Starman Jones really reminds him of Dingbats on the Commodore 16. Let's check that out. Now the Commodore 16 was Mike's first gaming computer. He says his dad also, though, bought a Commodore 64 to run his business from. No. I love the thought of business people in their suits, brown tie, nice jacket, sitting at their, you know, beige Commodore 64, tapping away in that blue screen, doing accounts and stuff. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a business thing, does it? It feels like you're in the wrong place, Dad. You bought the wrong computer, Dad. The only game he bought was Airwolf, because the whole family loved the show Airwolf. Didn't we all? Didn't we all? It was about helicopters. Of course, that game is famously, as I've pointed out many times, one of the most frustrating games of all time. He hated Airwolf so much that he never ever played on the Commodore 64 again. I don't know if that stands now. If he's relented now and he's playing it, but you know, those first painful games, they're stabbed through the heart, aren't they? That has stayed with him. I'm not playing Airwolf. I'm not playing a Commodore 64. I'm not playing that computer, that classic computer full of amazing games, because I was stung once by a very hard game. Good one, Mike, good one. He said thankfully his neighbours had a Master System and saved his childhood. Saved his childhood. That is how important it was. Oh, I wish I'd had neighbours who had a games machine I could just pop over. Our neighbours were, they didn't understand what gaming was. They were like the sort that bang on the wall to stop you. Turn it down! Turn it down! Slam on the front door. My next door neighbour, actually, this is actually a true story. I was playing music once when I was living at home. My next door neighbour actually came round, knocked banging on the door. It was 7 PM, and I wasn't playing it mega loud. I was listening to a bit of New Order. Knock on the door. I go and open the door. He's going into one. What you got that music so loud for? To be honest, my teenage Jace was like, I don't want to deal with this. I just shut the door. Do you know what he did? He punched the door, glass pane door, double glazed. He punched the glass and smashed it. It's funny, my mum has the same neighbour now, but they get on now. They get on fine. I guess my mum doesn't like New Order as much as I did. There we go. Okay, number 8. Brazil for Real 1. I don't know if he's being rude about me being a fat bloke or a bit ruder than that. He said, did I eat the blonde girl? I did reply something like chance to be a fine thing, thinking he meant super rude. But I think he just meant, you fat git. What are you tricking me to watch this with that blonde girl and you're on there? Anyway, number 9 is our old mate Peter Redwin. Peter! He's back. He says, his first legendary arcade experience was playing Gauntlet. Now, 4-player Gauntlet in the arcades, wasn't that a mega experience? Check it out.
Remember, don't shoot food.
Health now has limited invisibility. Friends can join in anytime.
Now, that was it, the first time you saw a 4-player game. I remember the 4-player Super Sprint, because that was like a big stand, you all stood around it. Possibly before Gauntlet, but that was the first time you were standing at the front of the machine, all sharing your own little area. Obviously, more came. The Simpsons game was 4-player. There was a Turtles game, 4-player. But Gauntlet led the way, and working as a team, standing huddled together in a line. Yeah, and you've all got your different characters, and you're all trying to battle your way through the mazes. Actually, there's a massive couch co-op games like that. They live on, don't they? I mean. The first one's always the most exciting. The first time's always very special. Let's just say that, isn't it? And the first time you played a 4-player game with your mates. Pretty epic. Pretty epic. So I agree with you on that. Okay, number 10 is our old mate Retro Bear. Retro Bear! Alright, Retro Bear. Go on, what you eating? What are you eating? I asked this because he didn't comment with something to talk about. He said he's done all his stories on his own channel. No, don't blame him. Save him for your own channel. But he does enjoy the show. He watches it every week, and he watches it while he's eating his takeaway. His Friday night takeaway. I don't know how the edit's going to go on this longer episode. Maybe it's a very late takeaway, or he's going to have to watch like an old show. But what is he eating? I always imagine he's just eating, I don't know. It's because of the Midlands thing. I just imagine it's, what are they? Scallops? Do you know what scallops are? Yeah, that's potato with batter on. It's like a battered chip, a giant battered chip. We don't get that. My wife is from the Midlands, so I know about this stuff. Oh yeah, I know about all this stuff. I know about battered chips. I don't know. To me, a takeaway, traditional takeaway in the our area, southeast area, Chinese. It's Chinese. Indian, you go to the Indian. You go to the Indian rather than get. It's never as good. At home, you've got to have a few pints of lager first. In my experience, Indian is always best late at night. But China, yeah, the go-to takeaway for me: Chinese, pizza at a push, or chip shop. But chip shop here, we don't often get gravy either. You don't get gravy so much in the Midlands. But anyway, I just want to know what you're eating, RB. Come on, let us know. You and Claire, what are you eating tonight? Send us a photo. Send us a photo of your takeaway. I would love that. Send us a photo of your takeaway and it's going on the next show. Brilliant. Number 11 is our old mate James.
Konnichiwa, everybody. Welcome back.
Konnichiwa to you, James. Yeah. I'm so glad to have James back. I've missed him. I watch his shows and it always feels a bit sad that we haven't conversed through our medium of entertainment for a while. Anyway, he says he's always got something to say as well. He's brilliant. He's always got something to say. That's interesting. He says, PlayStation 1 has a lot to answer for. I used to really enjoy being a social outcast. PS1 came along, didn't it? And it made gaming cool. Gaming wasn't cool. I mean, I do think Sega Mega Drive, to be this good takes ages, and all those Sega adverts, they were aiming at making the Mega Drive. It was making gaming cooler maybe, but PlayStation had a kind of like, you could definitely be an adult and have a PlayStation. It wasn't for kids anymore. This seemed like the perfect chance to compare the Sega Mega Drive advert to the PlayStation 1's.
Give me the Cyber Razor Cut.
A Cyber Razor Cut. Yeah!
We're getting a haircut. Is that Barry from EastEnders? No, I don't think it is. Bit of Terminator there. Can't even get to see some games. He changes his eyes.
There are over 100 Mega Drive games. They get faster, they get harder.
What are you going to do to keep up?
Who's next?
To be this good, thanks, Saint.
A bit cheesy, but it did have some games in it.
Let me tell you what bugs me about human endeavour.
Do you remember
I've
her?
never been the human in question. Have you?
I used to think she was pretty cute, which is just weird, isn't it?
I don't even know where Grimsby is.
It's Grimsby, by the way. It's
Forget
Grimsby.
progress by proxy. Land on your own moon. It's no longer about what they can achieve out there in your behalf, but what we can experience up here in our own time.
It's got nothing to do with games, is it? It's got nothing to do. She's just rambling on. Nothing to do with games. Mad. Maybe the Mega Drive was more the Saturday morning, Tiswas crowd. That kind of audience. It was them sort of adverts were aimed at. They were funky adverts. But then the PlayStation came along and suddenly gaming got cool. Suddenly, we've said it before, but Ridge Racer on the PlayStation launch game, it pretty much matched the coin-op. And it was the first time the arcade and PlayStation, and the arcade and home console coalesced. Oh yeah, coalesced. Suddenly, you could play just as good at games at home as you could in the arcade. I agree, actually. I agree, and I was so hyped. I was so hyped for the launch of the PlayStation. I don't think I slept the night before it came out. It was so hyped. Everyone knew it was coming. It did change the face of gaming forever, and it still has. It's still the major format in the world is PS5. So, yeah. Thanks, Sony. You stopped me from being a geek forever. No, you didn't. Nobody can stop that. Yeah, he just says, why do they have to make it commonplace and normal for regular people to enjoy? This gaming malarkey is not for regular people. Weirdos. Anyway, what else did he say? He said, and this is a bit, cue the sad music. He would have loved a Dreamcast as a wedding present. He would have loved one. I suggested this when I was talking about what you could write about, if you got lucky enough to get something game related as a wedding present. He said he would have loved it, but probably he'd have preferred a wife. That's really a bit heartbreaking. I'm not sure he's single. Are you single, James? James, are you single? Can we help him? Can we find a retro gaming girl for James? I don't know. He's probably his wife's watching this thinking, oi! Maybe he's not single now, but maybe he was back in his hardcore gaming days. I don't think he's fallen out of the hardcore gaming days. He's still pretty hardcore. You're hardcore, James. Very good. Anyway, finally, he says his best gaming experience. He's racked his brain and he's thought, what was the best gaming experience for me? And do you know what he's come up with? He was looking forward to go on holiday to go and play the sit-down outrun machine.
Get ready.
Now, Outrun is a legendary arcade machine. We all loved it in the arcades. It was groundbreaking. It was fun. It put Sega miles above everyone else because it was just so summer fun. The music, the graphics, the skill required to actually get there, the way that the progressed through the stages, and you just like nanometers away from getting to that next checkpoint. So aggravating but infuriatingly beautiful at the same time. And it had a sexy girl next to you in the seat. But the sit-down version moved. Now there were I'm sure there were two versions of the sit-down one, because I can remember, there's a sit-down outrun, you go and sit down, and you put your money in, it's not moving, it was like a static version, so it must have been a cheaper version for arcades that didn't actually move, but the actual moving one, that felt like I am actually driving. This is as close as we got to VR back in about 1987. That was sitting in Outrun. feeling it move, and you know, you'd be waggling the steering wheel just to move a bit harder. It was brilliant, James, and I am with you. I used to get a rush of excitement every time I saw a sit-down outrun. And that carried on. Sit-down Ridge Racer as well was amazing. I love that game in the arcades. Moving on, number 12, Zero the 14th Retro. Again, 100,000 words. He loved the game on the last show, the Blabby show. He said he loved the game Morbid Mansion, and it was very stunning. He said he would have bought that game instantly just by the name and cover. And it's one of those games, and it's good enough. It's good enough to just... I thought so. I agree with you. 13, now I love this guy. His name is Radios Namor. Radios Namor. Lots of new people, isn't there? They left it a gap between shows, and look at all these new people. And he's got one thing to say, and I love it. It's the best comment of the week. Clever! Exclamation mark. He's right! I am very, very clever. You don't realise how clever I am because I hide it. I hide it well behind this cheeky facade. Maybe. 14, Ariel Malige. I think that's a name. We can't have a go at Ariel Malige for choosing that because it's probably their name. So, clickbait works. That might be just saying, I ain't watching this crud. I came here for the blonde girl. She's not here. 15 is Gen Pix. Generation Pixel, our old mate, one of the hardcore 44. He is back. And he gets crossed every time we don't cover any Spectrum. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure there is any today. His first opening comment, and this is just so him, and I think he's doing it now to set the precedent. I called him the Frankie Boyle. Not just because he's Scottish, but Frankie Boyle of retro gaming. And it's not racist if it's true. What sort of comment is that to a retro gaming show? I have no idea. I don't think I've said anything racist. I'm certainly not racist, if that's what you're implying. I don't know. Oh, maybe it was about that Scottish guy. Do you remember we showed that blimmin' blabby game with the Scottish guy? And he's wearing a kilt. And I said it's racist. Yes, I think I'm going to let him off. I think it was a comment back to that. It wasn't made very clear. Anyway, he said, the game that blew his mind. And I have shared this experience. I share it. When I first saw this game too, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe my eyes were working properly. It's Time Traveller, the holographic arcade machine. Check this out.
Tiny blue flashes will sometimes show you the way. Get ready to move left. Now left. Next is right. Right. Get ready to duck. Duck.
Yes, it is very hard to get a grip of what's actually happening here. It is a live action acted video game but presented in holographic 3D. If you've never seen this running, it really is a sight to behold. It just looks amazing. It looks solid holographic display. It looks incredible, and you can put your hand straight through it. It was incredible. Finally, well, I say finally, the Star Wars, you know, you had that Star Wars R2-D2 doing his little thing of Princess Leia, and you thought, oh wow, it was actually there in front of you. Better quality. You could put your hand through the little guy. It was sensational. It's one of them games though, you watch people play it and you think, it looks lovely. Don't think I want to play. Let's be honest, it looked amazing. It was a Dragon's Lair style, touch the button at the right time, crapathon. Can I say crapathon? I've done it, I've said it, can't take it back. Number 16, Motown Batman. He's a new guy, he's come in a few times, but before we've done, not since on the last show, I don't think he was a subscriber then. But he seems like a really nice guy. He's in Detroit, yes, Detroit in the USA. US of A, that's how they like to say it. He's a very cool dude. Superstar DJ! Superstar DJ, that's a bit of an 80s thing, isn't it? Superstar DJs. Anyway, so he's working at this roller skating rink. I mean, it's like rink. You don't say rink much anymore. When's the last time you said rink? Rinky dink. Rinky dink. Anyway, he said in this roller skating rink there was a hockey arena, laser tag, and an arcade. Okay, arcade. He's 13 years old. Let's remember that. They had two, and now this is where it gets a bit flaky. They had two VR systems. VR systems. when he was 13. I'm thinking, this is like, he's talking about 30 years ago, VR systems. So we had the virtuality. Do you think he's had the virtuality systems, which were, as we've discussed before, pretty rubbish. I don't know. I'd love to know what they were. I'd like to see what these VR systems were. And he said that ran some VR game, and he said they had Doom. Doom. And I think he's saying they had Doom in VR. Nobody ever played these systems. It was $20 for a 3-minute game. Even though at 13, they thought I was 15, coming on to be 16, I was working 40 hours a week in the summer. Almost daily, they would let me play it to find. They wouldn't let me play it to find out unless I paid. So he never got to play it. He never got to play Doom in VR. I mean, I'm sorry, Motown Batman. You don't say how old you are. When's the virtual? Early 90s, 90s, 93, 94. I don't remember seeing Doom in VR. I could be wrong. Maybe it was just a PC set up with Doom, and you were allowed to play it for $20. You get 3 minutes. I don't know, but that seems a bit steep. Bit steep. I don't know. I'm not saying your story's baloney. I can say that to you because you know what it means. It just sounds a bit wonky, a little bit wonky. Anyway, moving on. Number 17, Eloquent Ape. Now this is someone they've got full grasp of the English language. They've chosen very Eloquent Ape. It conjures an image, doesn't it? Some big meathead, but the brain of a connoisseur. Thumbnails are veering. This is valid. A valid point. I'm sure. The thumbnails are veering into creepy territory. Yes, I am aware. I'm aware. I'm not a prude, but there's really no need for half-naked teenage girls on every video. It really does a disservice to the content, which I absolutely agree with, which is interesting enough by itself. That's right, it's fascinating what we do and what we say. We're fascinating people, and this is fascinating stuff. Do we need I don't need half-naked girls to drag people here, but it also does really work. It's tricky. It's tricky. I'm going to get rid of them. I've decided I'm going to go back, revisit those saucy, maybe go back all the way through what's in the box, redo all the thumbnails showing what was in the box, maybe some of the things that are in the box, and maybe people will start like, oh, hang on, like the blabby stuff. People say, oh, look, it's blabby games, and they might click on it and might get some follow-up traffic that we didn't get, because I genuinely think that a lot of our hardcore 44, a lot of them didn't like the fact that we started putting ladies on the thumbnail, and they turned away in disgust. Even though the show's exactly the same, it's still me rambling on. They just, no, you're not doing that to me, Jace. You're making me look like a pervert in front of my family. Fair enough. Fair enough. The saucy ladies are going. We think we've talked enough about that. But yeah, I agree. 18 is Russ. Rusty Bucket. Rusty Bucket's back. I don't understand the comment. We're not at war. We are not at war. I keep saying, are we? Aren't we? He said someone needs a full-time job. Is this a slur again? I don't know. Someone needs... I know he's told me before he works hard. He's some contractor, building work, I think. He works very hard. He's a hard-working guy. So I think he's implying that I don't do much work. Maybe that's because I'm spending most of my time in an office, behind a desk, or, you know, out sourcing collections, I guess. But I can assure you, I am very hard working, Russ. I work definitely 5 days a week, and sometimes I have to do bits at the weekend. I don't get paid holidays. I've managed to get a show out every single week this year, on top of all the other commitments I do, and a lot of the time I'm editing shows into the small hours of the night. I think it's harsh. I think it's harsh. Just because I work with games doesn't mean I don't work. It's still work. I might have a good job, but it's still a job. 19, Retrogames revived. It's Sean! Sean! Have we forgiven him? Sean led the way with calls for us to condense the show. He was the voice in the dark saying, Jace, we're all fast forwarding to the new stuff. you're wasting your time talking about old crud. So it's okay, he's fast forwarding through this bit. We hate you, Sean, we hate you. But seriously, he loved the Blabby show. He liked the Blabby stuff. He likes 8-bit. We all loved 8-bit, and it's lovely when I get to show you games that have not seen the light of day anywhere for decades. And that was one of those. If you missed it, last week's What's in the Box, we looked at Blabby stuff. It was an amazing collection of about 40-50 games. So obscure, all on the Blabby label, and they was brilliant. That brings me to the end of the sheet. And you know what happens after I get to the end of the sheet?
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin.
Yeah, numbers are his game. Here he is, Marvin. Hello, Marvin. How you doing today? All right, thanks, Joyce. Oh, good. You glad to be on the show in your new form? Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. It's like when they changed Crichton, isn't it? When they changed Crichton into a different actor, and you thought, well, that's not right. Or you know, when they do things like that, you know, no, okay. He's had a bit of a makeover. Marvin has, the number man. No. As you may recall, in the last episode, sadly, Marvin met his demise. He met his demise. As lovely as it would have been to bring him back, I can't bring him back. He is long gone. We miss him, and we need an alternative way of calling the numbers, because yes, there is a prize. There is a prize. I'm not even going to tell you what the prize is, but there will be a prize for whoever wins. You just have to tell me your written address, and I will send you a prize. And it will be a good prize. It'll have a Retro Games badge in it, and it will have something else. It will have a vintage game, which I haven't even found yet, but maybe something for Atari. What do you reckon? Something for Atari. So let's go to Marvin's Marvin 2. Hello, Marvin 2. Hello, Joyce. Let's go to Marvin 2's spinning wheel of fun. Welcome to the wheel of Marvin. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Pressing the button now. Look at her go. Oh, slowing down. 7, 6. It's number 6. Number 6, that's Tetley again. Tetley has won. He's always winning, isn't he? Oh, God, not again. Yeah, and we got a winner. And I don't know who it is because I had to do that bit off on the edit. I had to do that bit on the edit. So I don't know. And whoever it was, I really hope you're happy with your great prize. Maybe you're not. Brilliant, let's get rid of the sheet. Do you remember what happens after this bit?
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yeah! What's new at Retro Games this week? Yes, it is back. It's not what's in the box, it's what's new at Retro Games this week. This is a part of the show where we talk about all the new things that have come into Retro Games this week. And that's retrogames.co.uk, the world's best retro gaming website. And if you don't know about it, where have you been? It's number 1 on Google under Retro Games. Just look. It's my life's work. Get on it. Anyway, got some stuff to go through this week. Of course, that's what we do. I'm going to just fiddle with the camera because it's not quite zoomed in enough. Zoom. Yes, technicalities. You're getting to see behind the magic curtain. Now today we've listed some weird stuff this week. And I'm going to get these out together because they are strange. What the heck is this, Jace? What the heck is this? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Put them in a stack. Now what the heck are these? Well, these are Japanese gaming VHS videos. Now we get some really weird stuff at Retro Games, and that's what keeps it so exciting. You never know what's heading our way. And this week we've got some Japanese VHS videos. Let's put it on the screen. This is Street Fighter EX. And these are they're gameplay videos, but they're official. They're not homemade. This is on GameEst Video, 80 minutes long. We've got some screenshots. I think it's just teaching the special moves. It's a proper printed cassette there. Proper printed. Very interesting collection of VHS videos. Now VHS videos, they must be ripe for a comeback. I'll show you some of the others. We've got a Tekken 3 video. Tekken 3. What else we got? We got Virtua Fighter Kids. Remember we talked about that on the Saturn about 2 weeks ago. That came in. You can have a video about it. I know. Virtua Fighter 2. Virtua Fighter 2 there. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Officially licensed by Gamest. This video is from 1995. That's the same year that Retrogames magazine started. A little parallel with the Retrogames magazine. This is episode 23 of the Retrogames show, and we only made 23 issues of the Retrogames magazine. And if you want to find out about the history of Retrogames, go back to the Retrogames show, probably episodes 3, 4, 5, when we did a lot of history stuff, talking about where we started in the 90s, because we are the first ever retro gaming company. Don't forget that. Well, road to the final victory. That's Fatal Fury 3, isn't it? Fatal Fury, Neo Geo related. Yeah, I mean they're beautiful things. I mean if you collect Neo Geos and SNK licensed videos, an official thing. Very strange, aren't they? Very strange. Here's another one. Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 New Generation. Is that on the Dreamcast? Is it a Dreamcast version? I don't know. Could be on the coin op. Could be on the coin op. But again, they're all proper printed official videos. They're not pyro. They're not homemade. Lovely white cases. Samurai Showdown there. Samurai, beautiful, just like the Neo Geo cover. Yeah, they're just lovely things. And I thought, well, they've got to go on the show. I don't know if anyone will ever buy them. Who's going to buy game-related VHS? I mean, these days we've all moved on, haven't we? Well, we moved on to DVDs. Yeah, game-related DVDs as well. It's a really weird collection. What about this one? Power Stone. Power Stone the series. Oh, I love Power Stone on the Dreamcast. What a brilliant game. Yeah, it turned out itself into its own little anime series. Got 2 volumes. That's volume 1. And we've got volume 2. Oh, I'm kind of curious, aren't I? I mean, you'd need what region are these? Region 2, yeah, Japanese. So you'd need a region 3 DVD player. Very nice. What about this one? This one is Fighting Jam. You know Fighting Jam? It's on the PlayStation, isn't it? Fighting Jam DVD. I think it's another one where you just learn how to fight and how to play the game. Very nice. Master disc. What about this? Street Fighter 4, getting a bit more up to date. Street Fighter 4 special DVD. Again, possibly teaching you all the special moves, all them combos. And finally, what about this one? This one is sealed. Look at this. It's a lovely Sega license thing. What's it called? I've got it written down. Sega Saturn Visual Collection. Not Virtual Collection. Visual. In other words, you can just see it on the TV. But they're just lovely things. Very obviously nothing like this came out in the UK. Japan got all the cool stuff. We all know that. Japan gets the cool stuff. Yeah, that's probably blocking the view. Probably block it. Oh, stop it. Okay, moving on. What have we got next? Let's go for Atari ST. Don't we always go for an Atari ST game? Got one this week. Roger Wilco. This is Space Quest 1. The rarest of the Space Quest games. And they've really picked up in value, these adventure games. Sierra Adventures. You got your King's Quest. You got your Police Quest. You got your Space Quest. They love the word quest. Someone should convert them to the Quest. God, I'm hilarious. But this is obviously it's the Kicks reissue, but that's okay. That's okay. Got a couple of manuals. Got the disc, just one disc there, but very rare game. Roger Wilco. I think the original, the not Kicks version, came with a comic as well, which is a shame they didn't put that in the Kicks version. But a very nice thing. Now, what about this? This is another big box game, and this is for the PC. You know, PC, personal computer, that stands for. CD-ROM, that stands for compact disc ROM. Is that compact disc read-only memory? See, I know. Hollywood Hijinks. Now, these are Infocom adventure games. Very, very cool, very collectible. Lovely condition, this one. I just put it up there on the. Look at that. You can see there's a real gloss to it. When was this? 1984, 5, 1986. And the good thing about these Infocom adventures, they came with so much gumph. So he has a book like a crazy pretend news, fake news, Hollywood drama, comic newspaper. I mean, a lot of effort goes into it. I mean, it's a big, thick thing, and then you get through to you get to the little plastic lid. You pop this open. I know you're excited, and then we look at what's inside it. And what do we get? We get A couple of flyers, like yeah, it's just the registration and the DOS. Get help fast. This has got all the inserts. The inserts, it's all about the inserts with Infocom games, you know that. They're brilliant adventures, but the inserts are exciting. We've got a passport. We've got the passport. United Products of Infocom, and this is amazing. This is like a brochure. You know I love brochures, but I'm not going to dwell on this one too long. But yeah, it's got loads of colour photos of loads of other games. That Planetfall there, anyway, yeah, lovely. Then we've got the good stuff. This is the more game related stuff. We've got this photo and like signed photo letter of Buddy Burbank, who's the star of the game. It's got some writing on the back, some tips and clues. We've got a letter. Again, very lovely quality paper there, related to the game. We've got the discs, of course. We've got someone's game saved. We're keeping that in just in case someone wants to use the save. And then we've got the original disc, and we've got this. This is the it's a stirrer, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like a cocktail stirrer. It's just got all the inserts, and it's just so nice. When they really put the effort, they really cared about the packaging and the contents you got in your earlier games, don't they? I mean, okay, we have all these special editions of that, but they don't make so much stuff to go in. It's just a beautiful box. It is a lovely, lovely example, and rare on PC. It's probably rarer on PC than it is on Atari ST or Amiga. Commodore 64 disc as well, that also came out for. And what about this one? Similar vein. It's the other classic, Hitchhiker's Guide. Let's just check out Hitchhiker's Guide on the PC. Again, absolutely classic. It's a little bit of wear, just a little bit of wear to the top and the back, but it's a really nice example. And we open it up, and it's very similar to Hollywood Hijinks. You've got like a booklet at the front. It's just all crazy stuff, all game related. Brilliant. In the same vein as Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide, which is based on. Which, let's face it, we're all retro games. We all remember Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Probably for me, the BBC series, Arthur Dent in his pyjamas and all that stuff. We loved it, didn't we? I don't know if the Americans fully got it. I don't know if it was that original British series was massive over there. But this is an American game. Infocom is an American company. Now, it's quite legendary. The freebies inside Hitchhiker's Guide, and it's nice to have a chance to show you. Order for Destruction. That's like where, you know, because the house is going to get blown up. You know, at the beginning of Hitchhiker's Guide, where he's going to blow up the whole earth. Fill this out and we'll fill you in. That is like just the warranty. That's not a joke. What about this? You're about to see Fantastic Worlds of Infocom. It's another. Oh my God! Hang on. It's better than that. It's a great big fold-out poster of all their games. Look, there's all the Zorks. A Mind Forever, Voyaging, Starcross, Infidel, Planetfalls, Sea Stalker, loads of them. Open this if you really need it. Absolutely pristine. You see how beautiful the condition of these are. And that's still stuck down on the end, so you can get a hint if you get stuck. Here we have the MS-DOS guidelines. Now can we get to the good stuff? We've got an order form. What's this order? Oh, it's another order. It's got 2 orders for destruction. This is very nice, foreign kind of looking space language. I can't read that, can't read it, but it's nice. Here we have the glasses. It's got the black protective glasses. It's just black cardboard. Obviously, I can put them on. I can put them on for you. This is now instantly worth more money. The first ever retro gamer wore these glasses. He did. What about this? The microscopic Space Fleet. Yes, it is just a branded plastic bag, microscopic Space Fleet in a plastic bag. And it's the legendary Don't Panic badge. I mean, everyone knows that from Hitchhiker's Guide. This is the Space Fluff. Space Fluff is included. And again, we've got the proper disc and we've got the game save disc, or a backup. No, it's a backup. Just a little bit of extra confidence if you've got 2 copies of the game. Just makes you feel safer, doesn't it? Makes you feel safer. You can play the backup and then make a copy of the original if you need to. Very nice, isn't it? Very nice, again, for PC this week at retrogames.co.uk. Right, what's next? Well, What about Dreamcast? We had some games for the Dreamcast this week, quite a chunk of it. And some of my classics. Mr. Driller. Do you remember Mr. Driller? I love this game. I really, really made me fall in love with the Dreamcast when I first got this. Check it out. Yeah, it kind of feels like it should be more dig duggy than it is, but it is. It's very, very addictive game. And there's always something satisfying as burying underground and getting as deep as you can, isn't it? But yeah, lovely example. What about this one? Dynamite Cop. Dynamite Cop. Dynamite Deku, isn't it? Decker. Dynamite Decker in the Japanese version, but check out Dynamite Cop. Again, beautiful condition, UK issue, lovely, you know, no damaged case. It's always about the case, isn't it? We hate damaged cases. And yeah, you all know that the manual's in the back, but I'll show you the this not only just has the manual, it also has this flyer for other games. But beautiful, beautiful example. Let's put that back. Don't drop it, Jace. Oh, just imagine dropping your Dreamcast collection. You're moving it from one shelf to another shelf. You've got them teetering. You've clenched your arms together. You've got holding them like a big accordion, and then you just go to and you just catch it. Oh, and all the Dreamcast games, they all spill on the floor and they all smash their little lugs off the cases, and they're ruined and you can't replace them, and it makes you cry forever. I'm not saying I've dropped Dreamcast games before, but I might have. And it does hurt. It hurts. It's a pain. Do not drop them. One last Dreamcast. Skies of Arcadia. You probably all know this. It's one of the most highly rated role-playing games on the Dreamcast. It's on 2 discs. 2 discs, finally. Not many games had 2 discs, but there was always space in the case for 2. Sounds like a song, Daisy Daisy, isn't it? Space in the case for 2. That works, doesn't it? I'm so brilliant, aren't I? Aren't I brilliant? You knew there was a reason you watched this. That's enough Dreamcast. What else have you got, Jace? I've got something special. Stick with Sega. What about? It's a game you all know. Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2. Nothing totally, you know, mind blowing about that. But let me show you this. Yes. Okay. Looks like standard sleeve. Standard sleeve. But the cartridge label is different. It's the rare blue striped. The blue stripes. Now I've looked at this, thinking, well, this is weird, isn't it? This is like, it's not a repro, is it? It's not a repro. But it's not. It is an official cartridge, and the label looks correct. It's got the number on. It's printed well. Yeah, but I can't recall us having a blue striped version before. I think the blue striped Streets of Rage 2 is actually, I think there was a blue striped release inlay. This is the cartridge with the non-blue striped inlay. I think it could be rarer than Streets of Rage 3. I'm just putting it out there, but I think that version could be rarer than Streets of Rage 3, which is renowned as being one of the rare games for Mega Drive. Moving on, Jay, so what we got left? A few things left in the box. Let's go to one of my other favourite formats, and that is the BBC Micro. Yes, 8-bit in the house. Now, this game came in and it's unbelievable. I always like to highlight cheeky licenses. When a game's licensed, and it really, really shouldn't be. What about this one? Yes. Yeah, you're reading it correct. That is Star Trek Adventure. Star Trek. Do you think Gene Roddenberry was involved in the licensing for this? I doubt it. I doubt it. No instructions there. Instructions, you have to type run to load. That's it. It says it on the tape. But yeah, I mean, it's female. I mean, that is Spock, isn't it? Spock shooting someone. But yeah, what a brilliant thing. I love all those cheeky licenses. Cheeky licenses, can't beat them. This isn't a cheeky license. Same company, Superior Software for the BBC Model B 32K, and that is this. Check out BMX on the Moon. It's just a brilliant name for a game, isn't it? Everyone loved BMX. Everyone loved the Moon. Put them both together, what you got? A mega flop. Not very popular game, quite rare. BMX on the Moon, but I just love the concept of it. And talking about BMX, moving on. What about this? And a lot of people remember this one. Commodore 64, Hyper Biker. I think I mentioned it in the intro, it's in my brain. Sponsored by Rally of Chopper, Grifter, Mongoose fame. Let's check out Commodore 64, Hyper Biker. Oh, that gets the old blood flow. I remember this. I loved this game at the time. It's a bit feeble, really. It's a bit cheesy. But what a game. And I don't know, it always makes me... the things that... it was important to you as a kid, wasn't it? Hyper Biker, yeah, a proper biking game on your Commodore. Yeah, awesome. I loved it. What we got left in the box? Well, we've got another Commodore 64 game. Yes, now this is a rare one. Isn't it weird, this? I'll show you a quick. 5th Axis. It's like a side-scrolling platform adventure game. But if I show you that, you've just looked at that quick. What are you thinking? Hang on, that was the Eidolon. Or Elidon. Eidolon. I always call it Eidolon. Is it Elidon? No, it's Eidolon. Doesn't it look the same? I don't know, just look at it quick, like that. Look, Eidolon. I'm going to put a picture of the Eidolon cover up there. Now, remember that, and then look at this. Oh, it's the same game, isn't it? No, it's not. This is the 5th Axis. It's just something about it. Looks very much like Eidolon. It's a very, very rare game, this. It's a lot rarer than Eidolon. And it's got no manual. But yeah, in this week, the 5th Axis, it's a French game, Lauricelles. But this is a British issue of it. Unusual. I think it's more common on the Amstrad CPC. But that's the Commodore 64 version. It's in this week. A rare thing, indeed. What's left? There's a couple of things left. We've had these in a few times, but I love to show them on the show because they're just beautiful things. And that is this Game Boy Micro. You love the Game Boy Micro. There was a massive row, wasn't there, in Nintendo? We found out there's a big row in Nintendo because it really failed and it was too late. Why are you making a pocket version of the Game Boy? We've moved on. We're going DS. And it was a big flop because the screen is smaller than your SP. I mean, that's the thing, it is small. But it's such a beautiful dinky design. It really would fit in your pocket. It's made of metal. It's shiny, and this is the Japanese Famicom version. Doesn't matter because Game Boy games are intercompatible, so you can play anything. It's got some power. It's a quality little screen. I mean, the problem is these things are worth too much money because I really want to keep one in my pocket all the time to play Game Boy on the go. But it's just too precious and I don't want to get scratch against my keys and get ruined, and it's a shame because it's just such a beautiful item. And we don't get them in that often, but it's in on the site this week. Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Micro. Get over it, Jace. No, Game Boy Pocket. Last thing, now the last thing in my box this week, the last thing to close the show, is this. Now this is something really, really unusual. And I always like to show you unusual stuff. But what about a phone card? You ready? A phone card! Yes, a BT phone card featuring Sinclair C5s. Can you believe it? Sinclair C5 on a phone card. Alternative Transport 2. Now this is a story I didn't know anything about. This is Adam Harper's world record breaking C5. I think it's like a jet propelled super fast C5 record attempt on a C5. Now I was absolutely thrilled to find some real footage of this record attempt. It's not only so retro but also so very British.
Yeah.
Does the button have to be pressed?
No, I think it will come on automatically.
Sponsored by Scion.
Is it? A bit further. $30. More? Yeah.
Now this is the way to monitor a record attempt.
$30.
From your comfort of your Sierra on a motorway.
$40. Going faster, we're sure.
I'd love to see a movie remade of this attempt. It's incredible. Forget Evel Knievel.
Oh, good job. I didn't need it. Yeah. Didn't need it. You didn't pull it. Well, Adam
It's staggering. They did it.
In the world record. So well, 100 and what was it, George?
A good 110. Well, it was going away from me at that.
It was 100 and... 104.
I hope this guy watches this regularly.
103.8.
I'd say better than that.
Well.
Going away from me at that.
And they made a phone card to celebrate. Now these things used to be super collectible. They're a bit like Beanie Babies if you've watched that film recently. There was a real mushroom, phone cards, limited editions going for 500,000 quid. But that's all died away, and people, I think because nobody uses phone cards anymore, they've kind of disappeared. But once upon a time this would have been worth a fortune, but now it's not. But it's still a very quirky individual item for your Sinclair collection. And on that wonderful item, let's close the show. Now I will say, I've enjoyed doing the show again. It's good to be back. I would like to say, if you want to contribute to the next show, it won't be straight away, it'll be further down. You can always send me anything you want to talk about, any comments or things you want to say to the Retrogames email address, and we will deal with it on the next show. It's been wonderful to be back. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, Retro Gamers!
Retro games.